Hello, and welcome to this short introduction to what discrete mathematics will be. So, describing the topic of discrete mathematics is a little bit difficult because I can tell you a lot of words, but then you don't know what these words mean. So, let me give you two examples that illustrate maybe what discrete mathematics is about. So, the first example actually is very simple and quite nice. So, you know maybe the name, the game Double. Here in Double, we have these cards, and on these cards are all these little symbols. And then the game goes as follows. If you have two cards, then there's exactly one symbol in common, and the game is about finding that symbol as fast as possible. And then we have a third card, and we can see here those two cards have that symbol in common, and those two cards have that symbol in common. And always exactly one. And it's actually not easy to make this game, right? If you don't know discrete mathematics, you will be in trouble. But let me tell you an idea on how this could work. So let's say we have a bunch of lines, and we kind of make every line. We make a card for every line, and for every intersection we make a symbol. So for instance, these two lines here, they have this intersection, so that means they get the symbol. And then this line and this line, those two have this symbol in common, so that intersection has this symbol, and this intersection has that symbol. Okay, the problem is now how to arrange those lines, and then for every intersection you put all the symbols on top of it. But clearly you want to use this symbol maybe on more than just two cards, so you need to have more intersections here. So you have to find a way to arrange these lines in a more clever way. And the idea to do this is to go to a different space, not the Euclidean space, but maybe this vector space f2 to the 4. So there's four-dimensional vector space over the field that has just two elements. Then you just take all the lines. So with those cards, you take all the lines as symbols. Okay, you don't take symbols. You take all the points. And then what happens is that ideally any two lines share a point, and that means you would have so lines here would go through a certain number of symbols. I think something like 4, because we are in the fourth power. And yeah, you can count the number of lines that exist in this space, and that would work. The problem is that not any two lines share a point, but it will start working once you add the line at infinity. Because if then two lines are parallel, they share a point at infinity. So this is maybe one example where this problem of constructing those cards can be solved using discrete geometry or methods from discrete geometry. A second example is, okay, think about Cookie Monster. Cookie Monster has two jars and lots of cookies, and he wonders in how many different ways he can arrange his cookies in this jar, right? So that's maybe a classic combinatorial counting question. But we may not, so counting is like an important topic in discrete mathematics, but it's not the only one, and often we count more complicated. I also want to use Cookie Monster more often in the lecture. Let's see how this will work out. Yeah, so let me tell you a few things about the course. What's the expected workload? Well, we have 4 hours of lectures per week together. There will be 4 hours of tutorials. I expect that everyone should be able to recap the material in like 5 hours, which would be more than enough time to prepare for the exam. And then there will be 9 hours, and we make weekly assignments, and we expect that you can solve them within 9 hours. That will be a total of 22 hours per week, which is the 7 corresponds to 7.5 ECTS points. So how will the grading look like? So you will have weekly homework assignments, and then the best 5 out of 8 will count. So if sometimes you drop a homework assignment, that's okay. Let's say you're sick, or maybe you didn't manage to solve all the questions. You just take the best 5 out of 8. There will be 2 tests or exams. Each of them will count for 200 points. There will be Every tutorial there will be some assignment. They count of a total of 100 points. And then you have to write some reflections where you say on how you try to communicate with others and how you should say how you try to benefit others in the course as well. So some people don't like this assignment, but I find it important that you try not just to work for yourself, but try to be a team member. If you have 1,000 points, you get a 10. Note that all of these add up to 1,100 points. So if you don't like to work with others, that's okay. You can do this. If you don't like to do tutorial assignments, that's okay. You can still get a 10 if you do all the other tasks. But of course, you can't drop all of the tasks. So we have lots of activities here. So we have, lecture. There will be a grade book that we will follow. We will actually follow this book one-to-one. Actually, I have the copy here. So check out the book. We will cover roughly half the book. And here you can see how these different learning goals that we have correspond to the different activities that you have. So what are the prerequisites for this talk, for this course? What do you need to know to take it? In principle, you only need to know very basic things like set theory, functions, relations, proof by induction. We will use some things from calculus, but then I won't spend too much time on it, and you will be able to follow the course even if you don't know this. However, if you have lots of trouble with proving things, then maybe this course is not for you. So you should feel comfortable with using proofs by induction. We will prove stuff all the time. So what's my personal background? So I do research in algorithms, complexity theory, geometry, and discrete mathematics. And so maybe discrete mathematics is just a small part of my research, but it uses often very similar methods than in my core research area. So I would say this topic is close to my core research area, so which is a really good thing, I think. So I lived in many different countries. I'm born in Germany. I lived in the east and the west part. I lived in the United Kingdom for 2 months in Israel, 2 months in Switzerland, 2 years in Hungary, 2 years in Belgium. Now, for 4 years, I now live in the Netherlands. So I've seen a bunch of different places in the world. In my hobbies, I like dancing, running. I used to juggle a lot, don't do that anymore, and like playing board games and hang out with friends, have dinner, I guess the usual. And with this, I hope that I can welcome you to the course, and I hope you got an idea of what the course will be about, and see you then.